Today, I would love to talk about a topic that really matters to me. It's having an accent while you're trying to speak a new language. Because I know it's kind of an issue sometimes. You're trying to hide it, you could be a bit ashamed about it. Like myself, I'm French, and even if now my accent is not as pronounced as before, I had some issue, especially at school, because French are pretty rude about the people who are trying to speak a different language. They can, joke a lot about it. And I think it's not really sane, but for you, it's totally okay. You should never be ashamed about your accent and about trying to speak French. Because here I'm trying to teach you about all the French basics, all the French expressions, and I think it's even sometimes useful to have an accent. It could also be your privilege. It's like an advantage, not in every field, I know, especially for work sometimes. But if you're, coming as a tourist or you're trying to live in a different country, you should not be shy. I know it's quite difficult, but you should be more confident about having an accent. It's something you can value. And today I'm one to show you why it's totally fine to have even a strong accent when you're speaking French. First of all, I should remind you that everyone has an accent. Even in the same country, you can have a different accent. For instance, I'm coming from the southwest of France, so sometimes when I'm going up to Paris, people can acknowledge it and make an observation like, oh, you're not coming from here, where are you from? It sounds like the southwest part, etc. And that's totally fine. And I think when you're foreigner, it's even great to hear that you have an accent, because it means that you know more than only one language. You know more than just your mother tongue. It means that you put the effort, you learned, you took time and energy to, speak more than just one single language. So that's really great. Also, what really matters is communication. Being understood is the key. It doesn't matter if you have an accent, if you can understand. I'm French and I'm trying my best to talk in English. If you can understand me, I think I won my part. It's okay. You can maybe miss some words because my accent could be a bit strong. Maybe I don't have all the vocabulary I need, but you can guess and understand the main topics I'm talking about. You can hear my feelings about things. You can know my opinions. So, and if you can understand what the other one is saying to you, and you can reply and you can understand the main basics, it's only what matters at the end. And also because the channel is really focusing about teaching French, you should be reminded that French community is really huge across the planet. So we're a bit, how to say, used to hear different accents. If I hear a Belgium people talking to me, I can notice there is a different accent and I can understand maybe not all the expressions, but the main things. Same, I was living in Canada in the French speaking part, Quebec, and they have also what we can call a strong accent. And sometimes I missed some information, some words, because they were typicals from there, from this region. But I never had an issue to have a real discussion, to have a basic conversation. So you should not be ashamed to talk to a French person, because it's not like we all talking with the same clean accent and we all understand each other. Sometimes even in the French speaking community, we can have some troubles, but it's okay. We just figure out and, talk. then it's really important to keep this cultural exchange. If you have an accent, it's even better because it adds some density to a discussion, because you can talk about your culture, about where you're coming from. It's like when you're doing small talk. If I'm talking to someone and I can notice a different accent, I'm like, oh, where are you from? And the person is going to talk about it. And you can say, oh, how is the life there? So I think it's a really good starting point about you, yourself. And it makes you even more unique to the eyes or the ears of the French person in front of you. Also, accent reduction is really a waste of time, because, of course, the more you're gonna learn about the language, the more you're gonna, train your ears, and you're gonna watch movies from this country, and you're gonna hear the music from there, the more your accent will evolve and maybe being reduced. But you should not focus on it like in purpose. It's already so difficult to learn French, for instance, to learn the vocabularies, the basics, the verbs. It's really complex sometimes, that you should focus only on that work, only how to talk, how to make basic conversations, how to understand French. You should really not put energy about your accent. We don't care. It's not important. It's not the priority at all. And I know the main criticism about it is because French people are known to be not that nice about hearing someone, from abroad to try to talk French. But you should be more confident and don't care for two reasons. The first one, the French is maybe also trying to learn a language and is also having some difficulties and trouble. And I can tell you that most of the French, when they are trying to talk English or Spanish or German, they have so much difficulties, and they also have a strong accent. So don't think that the French are like judgmental and higher than everyone. They are probably less good than you in learning a different language. So that's perfectly okay. And also, when for most of the French, especially the younger generations, when they are hearing someone trying to talk in French, it's really like it could have a positive receptions, because you can see that the person in front of you are making the efforts to make a conversation in your own language. So that's really valuable. And I think you can get some encouragements from the right people in front of you. And it's good, because if the French in front of you, is really mean and is really joking, without trying to be nice or help you about the words, it's just like judging you, it's great. It's like a social filter. This person, you don't want to talk more with this French. You don't want to have it in your life anymore. And it could be just for a few lines, and then, okay, goodbye. I'm not going to keep you in my life because you're not really nice. It's really important to consider that having an accent is what makes you unique. We live in a global world where everything is trying to be the same, and every country, with the soft power, especially the American soft power, is trying to be everywhere with the same culture, the same way to talk. So it's really great if you can keep a part of your identity. It's really amazing and useful to be open to the world and to try to learn a different language. It's really something useful. But I think you should never forget about your roots, about where you're coming from, because it's who you are now. So don't try to hide your accent. And I know your accent is probably gonna disappear when you're gonna learn the language more and more after the years. At first, when I was trying to speak English, I guess my accent was like this. So now, because I'm more used to talk English with international friends, or because I was living abroad, it's a bit more fast. It's a bit different, but I know I keep an accent, and I'm never trying to mimic the way the people talk around me. I'm just trying to be myself, trying to understand the others, to always be open with the discussions, but I'm never trying to hide my roots. So maybe I know it's kind of a privilege because I'm French, and when I'm speaking English with my French accent, people can consider it like cute because all the romantic stereotype around the French. I know if you're coming from a different country, the judgment could be completely different. Let's be honest about it. And you should not be ashamed of your accent. I'm saying it so many times, but I really mean it. Because when I'm teaching French, even to some international friends who are trying to get the basics, etc., they never want to talk, even if they are really smart, even if they know everything, they studied all the lessons I gave to them, but they don't want to speak. They're like, oh no, my accent is terrible, I'm so shy, I'm embarrassed. No, don't be. And it's because you practice in real life that you're really gonna improve your French also. It's quite sad if you're coming to a country or you have French friends in your university, I don't know, and you don't talk. There are so many people who are going to a different country and they are just staying with the locals, and they never try to speak the language there. They never try to make basic conversations because they think the people are gonna judge them, and that's probably true. They're gonna judge you, but that's fine. You should try because you're gonna feel proud, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna improve your language, and you're gonna be able to share meaningful experiences with the people in front of you. So that's it. I maybe talk too long and say the same things too many times, but I really needed to talk about this before doing and produce more videos about the French basics. I think, yeah, we all have an accent. We should not hide it. Maybe sometimes it's going to disappear by itself a bit, but we should be proud about our roots, and we should stay open to the world. And I wish you to take care. Et à bientôt.